Hey, this is Mark Williams of Swine Barbecue. Today I'm going to show you my favorite way to cook ribs, and that's a simple recipe. Salt, pepper, garlic, little butcher paper. Of course, you got to have that hickory and pecan smoke on that Outlaw pit. We're going to be running that pit today at 300 degrees. It's going to be a quick and easy recipe. Let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is do a little bit of trimming of these ribs. Now these are St. Louis cut spare ribs. I'm not really going to take a lot off of them, but we do have to do a little work on the back here. You still got a little bit of this flat meat that we're going to remove. A lot of times, like you see here, it's not really hanging off. It's hard to get to. I'll stand the rib up on his end and just shave it off. And you can tell these ribs have got beautiful marbling. That's the reason I love cooking these. You got so much fat you can render. That's got to be a good bite in the rib. The only other thing we're gonna do is take our paper towel. We got to get that membrane off. So I'll take a paper towel, go between two of the bones, walk it all the way across, and just peel it back. You may have a couple little scragglers hang on there. Just take your time, get it off. Same thing on this slab. I'll go between two bones right here in the middle. I find it best to try to get your hands all the way through it before you start pulling. Once you get all the way across, just pick up, pull, comes right off. Now a lot of times I'll come in here and I'll cut these down just to make them a little bit more uniform, but these look good. I'm not touching them. It's time to get some seasoning on them. So now that we got them trimmed up, we're gonna flip them over. I got our Mississippi grit, just a salt, pepper, garlic. That's all you need on these ribs. We're gonna do a medium coat, treat both slabs the same. We don't need a binder. That salt's gonna pull that moisture out. This rub will here just fine. Then I'm gonna come back with some coarse ground black pepper. Same thing, medium to heavy coat on this. I like my pepper. I'll flip them over. Same process on this side. Medium layer Mississippi grit. Come back with the coarse black pepper. We're gonna let these sit on the cutting board while this Outlaw comes up to temp. As soon as it hits 300, we're putting these ribs on. So we're finally back cooking on our Outlaw patio today. We're gonna fill the basket up with some Royal Oak all natural briquettes, get 2 tumbleweeds placed underneath and get them lit. We're gonna leave all the doors open until we get a good bed of coals. Then we'll be ready to start putting the splits on it, getting that good hickory smoke flavor. It's gonna be a good eating rib. So this Outlaws came right up to 300. It's time to get the ribs on. So we'll get them placed right here in the middle. Kind of squitch them up. However you lay them is how they're gonna cook. So we're gonna let the pit run 300. We'll check on them an hour. If they need spritzing water, we will. Otherwise, we're just trying to get a good bark on them before we wrap them in butcher paper. So these ribs have been on for an hour. This Outlaw's been locked in at 300. Of course, our bark's done dried up good. We got good color. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little spritz. Just put a little moisture on them. Keep that bark good and moist. Help build a good color. And them ribs are beautiful. We're gonna let them go another hour, see what it look like. I'm hoping we can wrap it 2 hours. It's a good looking rib. So it's been a little bit over an hour. We're gonna go ahead and add us another split of hickory on here. Got a good bed of coals, get it nestled in. This Outlaw's been running like a dream, smells great on the patio. Let it catch and get the door closed. Keep on cooking. So these ribs been on for 2 hours. The color's exactly where I want them. It's time to wrap them in butcher paper. I'm gonna get them off, bring them to the cutting board so y'all can see. And these have beautiful color. So I got our butcher paper already cut. I'm gonna lay it at an angle just like that. Take the rib, place it right there. Fold my edges up first. Come over the top. One time. Fold the other edge. One more time. That rib's wrapped, ready to go. Same thing on this one. Place it at an angle. Fold this edge over. Come over the top. Fold the last edge, one more time. I'm gonna get these ribs on, let them go for about an hour, hour 15. We're gonna take them to 205, get them good and tender. I'll bring y'all back when it's time to check them. So these ribs have been wrapped for about an hour and 10 minutes. I checked them at the hour mark. They were sitting at about 199, 200. Gave them another 10 minutes. They should be exactly where we want. So let's see, 203. We're gonna call that good. Set them out of the pit. We're gonna get them over here on the cutting board, let them rest about 30 or 45 minutes, and then it's time to cut into them. So we've let these ribs rest on the cutting board for about 30 minutes. Now it's almost time to dive into them, but just as a quick recap, we start off 2 whole St. Louis spare ribs, remove the membrane, got them seasoned up with a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, which is our grit, and some black pepper. Got this Outlaw up to 300 degrees, got the ribs on. At about 2 hours, we had the perfect bark. It was time to wrap them in butcher paper. Once they got in the butcher paper, they got back on the pit, same 300 degrees, and about an hour and 5 minutes in, they hit 205. You see what we got now, I know they're gonna be tender, full of flavor. I can't wait to dive in. So I got me some cotton glove liners on under these, just because I know they're still gonna be really hot. Start unwrapping them. It's gonna make a mess. But that is a beautiful slab of ribs right there. I love that texture that pepper gives you. Hey, we'll go ahead and open both of them up, see what we're working with. Smells excellent. All that pork's rendered. And look at that. That's a pretty slabs of ribs. So we'll go ahead and start getting these cut up. They're cutting good. Good and tender. We're gonna do 2 bone cuts. As you get to this thinner end, you're gonna have to angle your knife a little bit because the bones are going that direction. Good smoke ring. Really good moisture. I mean, just easing out of there. That looks like it's gonna be a good bite. Feels tender. Perfect bite. And you taste the pork. Get a good smoke flavor, but that's a rib you can sit down and eat a whole slab of. Excellent. I mean, just packed full of moisture. That bark is excellent. That's a wrap for us today at Swine Life. We appreciate y'all checking this video out. If y'all want to try a good eating rib, give this recipe a shot. If y'all got any questions, shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram. And as always, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see y'all next time.